a young child, I grew up in Oklahoma, like most children who grew up in Oklahoma. Anytime that there was thunderstorms that resulted in hail, we got excited because we thought that there was going to be a tornado. We lived through, my siblings and I lived through many different tornadoes, but like almost every kid who grows up in the tornado belt, we don't realize that tornadoes will literally destroy everything you own, including your house. When you're a kid, it's just exciting and you watch all these tornado movies, like the movie Tornado. When there was heavy rain on the forecast, my mother would send my 5 brothers and my twin and I to my grandmother's house because she had an underground cellar. They're really common, they're just metal put underground, and if there's a tornado you go to it and it's usually within 10 feet of your house, and it's marked with a big metal pole that could be shot with lightning to tell the paramedics and stuff that you're there after the storm. When we went to my grandma's house, she used to storm watch on her front porch in her metal lawn chair, the old style lawn chairs that probably got hit with lightning more than anything else. And she would let my siblings and I, as long as my mom wasn't there to go, sit on the porch and watch the tornadoes, or not the tornadoes, the lightning and thunder with her. When we went there, which was pretty much every time it rained because you always take rain seriously in the Midwest, she would bake us her peanut butter cookies. They are very inexpensive and they took less than 15 minutes to prepare and bake. When I went to the grocery yesterday and to Vons, which is a little more expensive than like Stater Brothers, I bought all of the ingredients to make her peanut butter cookies for less than $10, but that doesn't include, it only takes 1 egg, so you have the whole carton of eggs left if you eat eggs, and you have almost the whole bag of sugar left, which lasts forever in your cabinet. According to the National Peanut Board website, the average American consumes more than 6 pounds of peanut butter products each year. When we were kids, it was probably a lot more than 6 pounds, but 5 pounds, I'm sure of that, was my grandmother's peanut butter cookies. A delicious and traditional cookie that consists of peanut butter, sugar, and eggs. The peanut butter cookie is inexpensive and easy to bake. First, we will review the materials and ingredients needed. Then we will prepare the cookie, and finally we will bake the cookie. The materials needed for the peanut butter cookie are a cookie sheet, a mixing bowl, which I'm sorry, I left my mixing bowl in my sink because I made cookies last night. The mixing bowl needs to be large enough that you can mix all the ingredients in it together and not do as much washing dishes afterwards. My grandma used to fuss if we messed up too many of her dishes. And the spoon needs to be a regular spoon because you don't need to wash a metal or a wood spoon afterwards. You can use this to size your cookies. The ingredients needed is a jar of peanut butter. If you want to make your own peanut butter, which is easier and cheaper, it's peanut butter in a blender or peanuts in a blender with a spoon. I don't know if this is a tablespoon full of water, and blend it for 5 minutes, and it's the exact same thing. A large egg, it's Play-Doh, and a cup of sugar. Second, we will prepare the cookies. First you need to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. If these cookies don't bake for that long, but if you are baking something that takes longer than 15 minutes, you don't need to preheat your oven. You can save on gas and put it in at the same time. First, you need to add your sugar. Put your sugar in first because it's the only thing that needs measured. And you can measure it and not have to measure it with peanut butter in it. Add your peanut butter and stir it. Stir it before you put your egg in because your egg will get super duper messy and you'll end up having to put it into a different bowl and do a second dish. Then add your egg, stir it. Sorry, it had cookies in it, so it's a little dirty. Stir it, and once it becomes in a dough, you don't need to refrigerate the dough like you do like chocolate chip cookies before you put them into balls. You can do it then because it only has 1 egg in it. You use your spoon to make your size of balls, cookie dough balls. You can use your hand to roll them up too. Some people don't do that because it has raw eggs in it. And you put them on your sheet. After it makes like 8 cookies, sometimes 12 depending on how big they are, you can squish them with your spoon, or you can be fancy like I did last night, and you can use a fork to squish them to leave the lines, and then sprinkle your last little bit of sugar on top of them just so they have crunch on them when they bake. You don't have to sprinkle sugar on them either if you don't, because you can also use As a substitute for the regular sugar, you can use half a cup of sugar and then 2 tablespoons of honey too. So it doesn't taste as good. Finally, we will prepare to bake the cookies. You put them in your oven at 350 degrees. When you put them in your oven, make sure you have your oven light on, because if you open your oven, you're letting all the gas out, which costs more money. And you need to be able to see, because if you burn these things, they don't taste good because they don't have flour in them. So they taste like burnt peanuts. And then you'll be able to smell them. If you start smelling them at 6 minutes, pull them out. If you don't, leave them until 8. Sometimes 10 if they're super duper big. When they're done, and if you put peanut butter marks in them, they'll look like this. This is the final cookie, and my twin and I add chocolate to them. My grandma's probably rolling in her grave for that because she hates chocolate. But we add chocolate to them because they taste better. You don't have to, and you gotta eat these cookies when they're warm, or else they literally taste like peanut butter with sugar in them. So first we prepare the materials. Then we prepare the materials. Then we prepare the ingredients, and finally we bake the cookies. Although many of you won't be baking cookies for your kids because of the rain, because we live in Southern California, you can still bake these cookies for less than $10.